Yes, my name is Kenneth Loch of the TENNISSANCE method. Just want to get into what I'm calling, um, let's see, exercise and the mind-body connection. This is, I use, I refer to the TENNISSANCE method as the mind-body exercise of tennis. But to like just break it down a little bit, just the idea of it being an exercise, and then the idea of the mind-body connection in relation to it being an exercise. So, and then the idea of how, let's see, the two are interrelated. Who I'm claiming to be is the first tennis player to actually atone for the separation of the mind and body, so the atonement. So that's actually the symbol of the TENNISSANCE. It's the cross with a circle, so the idea of mind, body, and then the idea of bringing the two together. So I actually provide reference for like understanding the concept of that in relation to, again, like the mind-body connection, and actually, me actually accomplishing that, and then what ultimately I accomplished. And let's see when it comes to the mind body, if there's something there. Well, the whole nature of like the whole mind or whole brain, and then the idea of whole body. So the idea of how the two are interrelated, and the basis of, just like holistic. So the idea of how the exercise is holistic. Say the mind-body connection, just say mental health, physical health. So the idea that through the means of the exercise you can increase your mental health and actually be mentally healthy. You can't really become mentally healthy or increase your mental health if you're not mentally healthy. And then the idea of increasing your physical health, and what that means in relation to developing the whole body and actually becoming ambidextrous. Let me see if there's anything else with that, because what I want to get to is one thing that kind of messed around with this morning was the idea of that whole knowing and then doing. So who I represent is the first tennis player who actually knows how tennis is exercise, and who actually does it as an exercise. So right here now, let's just say even like eternally, which is the eternal now. It's I have a daily practice which is based on tennis being an exercise. So the whole basis of me having knowledge of that, knowing it in relation to my doing. And let's see, and then the idea that somebody who, it's either that, and then actually the basis of me knowing and doing, I would represent, say, a teacher that would provide a student with the ability to know how tennis is an exercise, and actually have an example of somebody who does actually practice it as an exercise. So it's kind of like my atonement. When I atone for that mind-body gap, I kind of bridge the gap in a sense, and now make it possible for say tennis players to actually become aware now of how tennis is an exercise, and the fact that I would represent their teacher, and the idea of the knowledge that I would be sharing. It's kind of interesting because who I represent is I am the knowledge. So it's the idea, I'm not sure if I'm using the right word, but the nature of, say, what an incarnate is. So I'm like kind of like the incarnation of the knowledge. I am the knowledge. It's kind of like I would kind of be like, in a sense, Jesus a little bit, where when Jesus said, eat my flesh, drink my blood, he was actually just saying, like, ultimately, I mean, that was an extreme example, but the idea of what he was saying is that that he was the knowledge. For somebody to learn it, you would get it from him, and I represent the same, say, teacher, um, same type of teacher that would, and actually Jesus actually mentioned the idea that he mentioned that his mothers and brothers are those who know God's will and do it. So he kind of was clued in on that, him being a teacher, and then me being now a teacher. Um, um, I'm aware of myself, and then I'm also aware of Jesus and his teachings. Um, Let me see. So let me get back to that knowing and doing, and then the idea is that it's either you're either doing that, or you're not doing that, and it turns out historically tennis players have not been doing that. And a way to understand that is that ultimately what they do know, their knowledge that they have, um, it would be in relation to the sport, and and then the idea of let's see how that in a sense affects their what they know, but also in relation to what they do. So what they do is they ultimately develop one arm, and what they don't do is they don't develop both arms. So and so the idea is that when somebody develops one arm, they are not actually, we can actually say that they're not giving value to say the whole concept of exercise, based on the fact that what they're doing is like, I don't know, it if it is an exercise, it's not a healthy exercise. It's not a healthy daily practice. So and the idea that ultimately that lack of say coordination, lack of dexterity, ambidexterity, that lacking, how it affects their mind or their brain, and what they know, what they accepted, and just the nature of say two or more people in relation to them not knowing how, say, tennis is an exercise, and the idea again back to that what they know is only in relation to the sport, and what they do is only in relation to the sport. So it's either there's two options, and what I'm doing right now is making the option of getting tennis players to come over to where they would exercise and actually benefit from that in relation to, say, their mental health, physical health. It's just the nature of living say, a life that actually has, I don't know, meaning, versus, say, no meaning. And yeah, I just wanted to put this down. It's I'm gonna get more. I don't know if I can get more into this, but I've been doing some meditating on some different aspects, and I'll be probably pumping out some more videos. I hope you got something from this. Thank you.